Georgia State University responds to growing concerns of the coronavirus. And presidential candidates answer your questions in PRN's Student Government Association Presidential Town Hall. All that and more on Panther Report News. Hello, and welcome to Panther Report News. I'm Kevin Sanchez. Today, over 100,000 cases of the coronavirus are confirmed worldwide, leading many to take preemptive measures against its spread. And this week, Georgia State University announced its Public Health Preparedness Task Force in response to growing concerns of the disease. And the unit includes 6 leaders within Georgia State. This week, the university community also received several messages sounding the school's response to the coronavirus. Provost Wednesday Hensel told faculty in an email that if social distancing becomes necessary, the university must close for some time. Therefore, they need to be prepared to teach from home. PRN spoke to a professor here, and they say that they're glad that the university is taking initiative to prepare. In another message to the university community that same day, President Mark Becker said that they're closely monitoring the situation. But this all came after a professor took their own approach. The morning after Governor Brian Kemp announced the first cases of the disease in the state, a professor here canceled class, saying they haven't gotten the clear protocol for dealing with the disease. Well, shortly after, students received an email from the director from the School of Film and Media and Theater, saying cancellations were not on the behalf of the College of Arts or the university. The professor later apologized to students, announcing class and taking full responsibility. But this is not the university's first response to the coronavirus. Georgia State has already canceled study abroad programs in China, Italy, and South Korea, and right now, health officials say that the best prevention methods include washing your hands for 20 seconds and using hand sanitizer, and also staying home when you're sick. This Thursday, PRN hosted its first Student Government Association Presidential Town Hall. Presidential candidate Nigel Walton was first up, beginning the evening with bringing attention to the mold situation in university housing, an issue that impacted the living situations for many living here on campus.
Well, one of the first problems that I want to do really fix at Georgia State is really a minor issue, but really has a big impact, is the mold in University Commons and Piedmont North. And I intend to do that by talking to housing directors, and really, first of all, getting proof from them, then talking to housing directors and telling them, hey, our students are getting sick from this.
But the call for change didn't stop there. When asked about the broken call box systems at Georgia State, presidential candidate Carlos Porter committed to working with GSU PD to fix them.
I see them in there, and a lot of times you can see there's signs that say out of order, they're just broken. And one thing I'll do is work with the PD on campus to say, where are the funds that we need to replace these and to improve on these? Because they're supposed to be there for safety, but we're not confident in their safety if we can't even use them. If when we try to use them, they're outdated and everything. So I'll definitely work with the PD here on campus and see what funds we can use to fix them and to get new ones or just replace them.
When asked about how SGA will work to ensure communication about parking on campus, presidential candidate Kaylin Thomas called the sudden loss of portions of Blue Lot disgusting.
Lauren, I actually think it's kind of disgusting how we found out last minute that our lease had ended on Blue Lot, and now we have less than half the parking spaces in Blue Lot available to students. I think it was ridiculous for the university to do what they did without notifying students first of the changes that were made. That's why, as the next student body president, I will make sure that, again, I will rebuild those relationships so that we can keep the lines of communication flowing and students will never be left out of the loop when things like that occur.
Presidential candidate Nahom Taye ended the night with ensuring accessibility for students with physical and intellectual disabilities. Take a look.
That's first and foremost, making sure the people that are dealing with the maintenance and the functioning of our classrooms are aware and of the situation of these students. Whenever we're going through major construction, whenever we're going through construction, you cannot just say, okay, we will have the ramps, we will have the means of transportation once we're done with construction. No, these students have classes to go to. They need a way to get to class. So that's making sure that even in steps of reconstruction that we can give them that means of transportation, and with classrooms.
Students, cast your vote for next year's SGA president on pin.gsu.edu starting March 10th And be sure to stay with PRN to see for yourself how this election continues. Georgia State Perimeter College students continue to break barriers by having the leading number of semifinalists for the Jack Kent Cook Scholarship that covers a student's full-time bachelor's degree at a four-year college or university. PRN's Alicia Wimberly spoke to students directly.
Opportunity, scholarship, and a dream. These Perimeter College students know the true meaning of perseverance.
Coming from a low-income immigrant family as well, my parents had my other siblings to care for, and so a lot of the work that I put in for college is really on my own.
Georgia State Perimeter College students have been chosen as semifinalists for the National Jack Kent Cook Undergraduate Transfer Scholarship, setting a record for the college for its number of students selected. I sat down with two semifinalists, Diana Ha and Matthew Wessler, who are no stranger to struggle for funding for college.
In tuition, I had to find ways to fund for my own college tuition, fund for my own college expenses. So going into college as well, it was definitely harder for my parents because, one, I'm the first child in the family to be a college student.
Wessler says the funding would relieve financial stress and allow him to be a part of a great community.
It's just me and my mom, so a single parent, and my mom has been unemployed. She lost her job, so it would help out a lot if we did win.
For students who want to apply for the scholarship in the future, Wessler wants them to never give up.
You don't have to stay at the point you're at, so that they may not be at the point where they have very high grades or they're self-confident, but that we're always changing. It's dynamic, so if you think you can get those things and you're not constantly saying that you are something, if you're willing to overcome it and grow, that anything's possible. So I would encourage that student to change their internal dialogue.
Not only do these semifinalists want to encourage, but they also want to inspire other students to reach the same goal.
I believe being a finalist will not only show them and show other people that first generation students can do it just as well as other students who had family members who go to college, but also it just shows how much hard work and effort not only I put in, but all the other finalists put in too.
I'm Alicia Wimberly, PRN.
Thank you, Alicia. Let's turn to PRN's Crystal White for the latest on Georgia State sports. Crystal?
Thank you, Kevin. How's it going, everyone? I'm Crystal White, and welcome to PRN Sports. This week, we'll give you a quick recap of the Georgia State baseball team series against ETSU and an inside look at what it means to be Georgia State's loudest trash talker, and a preview of the upcoming Sun Belt Conference tournament. But first, PRN's Kamora Street has more on Georgia State men's basketball team season finale against first place Little Rock. Take a look.
Georgia State beat Arkansas Little Rock 89-70. Kane Williams had 21 points. Here's what head coach Lanier had to say.
I thought he came into the game with a really clear mind and was focused on playing the game in such a way that it would give us the best opportunity to win, and I think the numbers reflect that. But with him, it's not really about the numbers, it's his impact on the game.
Not only celebrating the win against the #1 seed, but Damon Wilson also celebrated his senior night, finishing the game with 20 points.
I think Dame is a guy who's got a great motor and he's a great competitor. And so I don't want the ups and downs of the game to create ups and downs in his competitive nature. I want him to remain consistent in his approach. And that is a form of leadership.
Kamora Street, PRN.
While Georgia State men's basketball team regular season may be over, that doesn't mean their season is. For the 7th year in a row, the Panthers will head to the Sun Belt Conference tournament. Reporter Christian Crittenden sat down with men's assistant coach Jarvis Hayes about the upcoming challenge.
The Georgia State men's basketball team finished the regular season with the 89-70 victory over the first place Little Rock Trojans. The win, combined with the Georgia Southern loss, gives the Panthers a 4th seed and a bye into the quarterfinals heading into the Sun Belt Conference tournament. Assistant coach Jarvis Hayes was happy with the way the team responded to adversity late in the season.
Well, for one, team morale is pretty important. You know, we just came off losing 3 straight games, so we felt like we needed it. We needed to play together, play as a team, and I felt like we did that. And I think more so than the seeding, yeah, you want to get the best seed, but we were more concerned with how we played and the manner in which we played together.
The Panthers will be off until Wednesday when they host a quarterfinal matchup against either Georgia Southern, Arkansas State, or Louisiana. Should Georgia State win on Wednesday, they'll have a rematch with the #1 seeded Trojans next Saturday in New Orleans for a spot in a tournament championship game. On the women's side of things, the Panthers will square off against rival Georgia Southern for the 10th and final spot in the Sun Belt Conference tournament. Head coach Gene Hill is confident his team knows the importance of this game. Hill said, "Anytime you play Georgia Southern, it's an important game. This one should provide some extra motivation for both teams, as I'm sure both teams would love to be the one to end the other one's seasons. We understand what this rivalry means. Now we must go out, execute, and lay it all on the line for 40 minutes if we want to continue our season." The Panthers entered this game on a 4-game losing streak after dropping both games in Texas last week. After a season filled with lots of ups and downs, Georgia State has one last chance to finish the regular season on a high note. Christian Crittenden, PRN.
This past weekend, the Georgia State baseball team traveled to Johnson City, Tennessee to face East Tennessee State University. The Panthers were defeated in all 3 games of their weekend series, moving their overall record to 5-6 on the season. After being defeated 3-9 and 7-18 in their first 2 games, the Panthers forced extra innings in the last game of the series. However, Georgia State will eventually lose to the Buccaneers 4-5. The weekend was led by freshman Will Mize, who has been on a streak of impressive performance. On the season, Mize is averaging .421 hitting percentage with 5 hits and 5 RBIs during the 3-game series. Last weekend, the Georgia State beach volleyball team participated in the Stetson Spring Fling Tournament. The Panthers finished the weekend going 2-2 with losses against Stetson and Florida Atlantic and wins over St. Peterson and St. Leo. This weekend, the Panthers will face Coastal Carolina, Charleston, in a rematch against St. Leo. Support comes in many forms. You can make a funny sign, you could yell and scream, or you can talk as much trash as possible. For freshman Emmanuel McQueen, he chooses the latter. Anthony Patterson and I sat down to talk to Georgia State's loudest Panther. Take a look.
You and you a pair of these guys with some prescription in it and some bifocals because y'all are blind as a bat. What in the world?
If you've been to a Georgia State basketball game, you've seen or heard of Emmanuel McQueen.
He runs up and down the sidelines talking trash to the opponents.
Shoot, that's my purpose. I want you to hear me. If I know you hear me, then I'm doing my job. If I don't think you hear me, I got to get louder. Ref, you are bad!
For McQueen, he has a motive for doing it.
I prefer them to talk to me back because that's how I know that you're engaged with me. And if you're engaged with me, you're not doing your job. That's what I love. So the moment you're engaged with me, I have won. And we are on the, all my guys have to do is shoot the ball and make shots. So the moment they start doing that and you're engaged with me, that's when we win. Leg, man, little leg. Why'd you miss the next free throw like you missed leg day? I want to leave a legacy at Georgia State where everybody, it's a hostile environment when someone else comes in here. So I want them to feel like, oh, we're going to Georgia State. Y'all gonna have to bring our A game. Y'all gotta stay focused. I want their coaches to talk about us. I want them to feel like we can't go in there, entertain the crowd, cause they gonna get in our head. Like, yeah, we gonna get in your head. That's what we're here to do. That's our job, cause we want to win. Y'all ain't made a field goal in the last 10 minutes. It's on ESPN right now. Y'all boys been making free throws, and that's it. Y'all boys ain't got no field goals.
When it comes to McQueen's style trash talking, he holds nothing back.
I don't use profanity, so other than that, I ain't cussing. Everything goes. I ain't gonna talk about your mama. I ain't gonna say nothing personal. So everything is strictly about your game and how you playing. Your parents may be in the stands, and I may refer to them like you playing for them, and you doing horrible. But other than that, it's never personal. Shoot it, Tim. You the only one with no points.
Anthony Patterson,
Crystal White,
PRN.
While the Georgia State men's basketball team may be heading to the Sun Belt tournament, the Panthers' newest addition will have to continue to wait for his turn. I sat down with freshman transfer Ryan Boyce about his transition to the Decatur Street and his time so far at Georgia State.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
My name is Ryan Boyce, and I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and I'm 6'6", and I'm a shooting guard. In my game, I play with a lot of energy, and I use my athleticism a lot. And I know how to make shots. I can create shots, make plays. Basically, just play hard and just play to the best I can. The reason why I left Memphis is because I wasn't really happy there anymore. And I felt like it was in my best interest to go ahead and move on to somewhere that I would be more happy. Because once I entered the transfer portal, I was just trying to basically look at schools that I felt that was going to probably be best fit for me. And I came across Georgia State, and I came across Coach Lanier. He was one of the first coaches to hit me up after I went into the transfer portal. On my visit, I came here, I visited everybody, the team, the coaches and everything, and I felt like family as soon as I came here and visited everything. I felt like I was already a part of the team. Me and the guys, we would chill and stuff outside of basketball. Of course, we see each other on the court, but we would chill together outside, laugh, talk, joke, all that type of stuff. So we built that chemistry, we built that bond. So we brothers now.
University of Memphis and Georgia State campuses are completely different. Thanks to fellow teammate JoJo Toppin, Boyce was able to learn the ins and outs at Georgia State.
He was basically just showing me like shortcuts to get to classes and everything, like what to do, what not to do, like where the student cafeteria is and everything. And another big one was like working like the shuttle bus and everything. That was one because I know traffic here is crazy, so he showed me like the different routes and stuff to take, like different routes to get from here to there to the barber shop or like on campus. Stuff like that, so it wasn't really big, but he showed me a lot of little things. I came here just for basketball and of course academics too, but I come here just for business, basically.
Crystal White, PRN. That's all we got for this week on PRN Sports. Be sure to follow us at GSU PRN for up-to-minute coverage of all things Georgia State sports. Now back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, Crystal. Early voting in Georgia is already underway, and if you are registered in Fulton County, you don't have to travel far to cast your ballot. On March 9th and 10th, early voting will take place in Student Center East, and as PRN reported in the past, this will be the nation's first student-led polling location on a college campus. Get out there and make your voice heard, Georgia State. Need ways to lower your debt? Coins is a new app that was created by 2 former Georgia State students to help tackle this issue. And PRN's Keelan Berrien spoke to those students about how they did it. See for yourself.
At that time, that's not really what I'm worried about. I'm worried about how do I get out of debt as fast as I can.
Former Georgia State students Christian Zimmerman and Nate Washington created Coins, an app they say can help lower debt.
So we have your financial coach that you can talk to. So I match with Steven, who's our certified coach. I can actually contact Steven whenever I want.
And your financial advisor helps allocate your rounded totals.
Is it to save money? Is it to build a budget? From there, he helps create that plan in tandem with you, and then also automate that process through the technology side of things, which is our automated payments and savings method.
And how this works is for every purchase you make, your total cost is rounded to the nearest dollar. After gaining a certain amount of coins, those coins are then distributed to your liking.
Let's say I buy coffee, costs me $3.20, rounds up to $4. That 80 cents is rounded up. It's not withdrawn, just rounded up. Once we hit a threshold of $5 total of roundups, then we'll initiate what's called a withdrawal, and that money is pulled from your checking account over to your coins account.
Zimmerman met his co-founder Nate Washington at an event, and after working together on the app, they noticed how big of an impact they were making.
We've paid off over $10 million, like nationwide.
The app is currently available for iPhone and Android users for you to start saving. Keelan Berrien, PRN.
Georgia colleges and universities saw the greatest increase in the nation for 6-year college completion rates. In a new report from the National Student Clearinghouse Research Center, new data shows Georgia rising 9 percentage points, making it 61% now. Governor Brian Kemp has responded to the news report saying, quote, "I'm especially grateful for all the university system of Georgia has done to increase college completion rates and solidify Georgia's reputation for being a great place for public higher education." Well, that's our show. Make sure to stay connected with Panther Report News throughout this week, and be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at GSU PRN. Also, subscribe down below and let us know what you think about this show. I'm Kevin Sanchez, and we'll see you next week.